breasticles all over the place. I was like, I want to be like that too, because I'm evil and I want to steal my friend's signature fragrances. She's very pretty. Break. You can't just know a person from knowing them a day. Okay, I'm just going to note down something that I did today that was something that I achieved. Okay. Hi guys, how's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Good, I hope. I normally say 3. Why did I do 1? Maybe I'm feeling a bit melancholy today. So today I'm reviewing another Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance. 2 for the price of 1. My last review was a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance, and so is this. It's because recently I've discovered 2 flankers of the original fragrance, Classique, that I've fallen in love with. Mainly because of my friend Michelle, my best friend Michelle, who I hope watches this. If you do, I love you. You know that already. My little Shimbo, my little Shimbolina. So what was I saying? Yes, my best friend Michelle, the last 3 times I've seen her, I've been able to see her, and she has smelled amazing. So I've had to ask her what she's wearing, and she told me once, and I forgot, and she told me again, and I forgot. And the 3rd time was a charm, and she actually had the bottle with her. So she said it was Jean Paul Gaultier Intense, this fragrance. So this came out in 2014, the one I reviewed just recently was 2016, so it's much more recent, but this one I much prefer. It's great! I don't know what really to say about it, but I guess we're just going to find out. I don't know. I've got my notes and we'll just do it. So what they say is this fragrance is 40% the original formula of the original Classique fragrance, and 60% new elements or new formulation. It's also classed as an oriental floral, and it came out in 2014. She's very pretty. Yeah, it's a gorgeous fragrance. When I sprayed it on myself visiting my friend, I loved it even more, and yeah, it made her smell nice. So I was like, I want to be like that too, because I'm evil and I want to steal my friend's signature fragrances. So the notes are tiare flower, pomegranate, a gourmand accord also. I don't know what that could be anything, but that's what's in there. The heart notes are jasmine, orange blossom and rose. Orange blossom, I said previously, is the thread that connects all of the Jean Paul Gaultier Classique line. I'm sure there's a few summer versions that don't have it in, but it seems to be the theme and the kind of thing that holds them all together. And the base is just patchouli and vanilla. So this one, for me, is much harder as I pull this off with all of my strength. This one is much harder to pick apart, I think. It's a much more interesting fragrance. I don't find any similarity to the original, even though it says it's got 40% of the original formula in it. I just don't feel it at all. I just don't. I just don't. I feel, I guess you could say, more of the 60% new notes or new formulation. So let me spray it on my hand. I've worn this lots of times in the lead up to this review. I always say that because I don't want you to think that I just tried something on and went, oh, I know it in depth, because you can't just know a person from knowing them a day. So this one is entirely different from the original, I think. It's a much fresher fragrance. There is a very unusual set of tones that are going on in here that makes it really hard for me to pick out, but I'm going to try my best, I promise. But this is overall a more fresher feel. I had I guess you could call it a eureka moment with this fragrance, and I need to tell you the process how I got there, of how it smells. Tiare is at the front of this fragrance. Tiare flower is the prevailing note that carries this fragrance throughout its wearing, and I feel, and the first thing I want to mention about the way it smells is this. Let me just get it back in there again. I want to talk about, firstly, the undertone of this fragrance. I feel like, and it's going to sound very strange, that this has coconut milk in it, even though it's not listed. Now let me tell you how I got to this stage. Coconut milk it doesn't smell like coconut flesh, it's not tropical, it's not beachy, it doesn't smell like suntan lotion. Coconut milk has that slightly sour, lactonic kind of feel. The research I've done into tiare flowers in the past is this. They are a more tropical version of gardenia, and they do have a lactonic feel. Gardenia has a lactonic feeling. I noticed it most when I smelled Narciso by Narciso Rodriguez. That fragrance had a very lactonic but sharp floral feeling, and it connects. You have coconut milk in my head with this lactonic gardenia tropical feeling. So that's the underlying thing of this fragrance. It's kind of like the backbone. It doesn't smell of coconut, but it smells of this almost tropical lactonic feeling. It's a little bit sour and sharp. There's plenty of other stuff going on as well, I just had to mention that first. The first burst of it reveals a very mysterious, nondescript kind of red fruity smell. Pomegranate. Pomegranates to me don't really taste of anything but just pure fruity sweet loveliness. And in the fragrance I'm not really sure how it smells either, but there is a fruitiness in the opening. There's a lot more than that, believe me. The orange blossom has to be mentioned because orange blossom, like I said, is the thread that combines all of these fragrances. The orange blossom in this is totally different to the orange blossom that is in the Essence de Parfum. This is the super fresh side of orange blossom, this one. It's the greener side of it, and it feels a little bit kind of spiky. You've got patchouli in here, don't forget. That is giving this a slightly strange kind of green spiky feeling, along with this lactonic, fresh and almost sour coconut milk feeling as well. This fragrance feels to me like it has something almost salty in it. And salty is a very, very difficult thing to describe in fragrance because salt doesn't really smell, but you can imagine when you go to the seaside or if you smell a pot of salt, it's more of a kind of texture than an actual aroma. And that's the best way I can put it. I'm making it sound very unusual when in actual fact it's a very beautiful fragrance. When I smell it on my friend Michelle, she smells clean, like she's just got out of the shower. This one isn't overly floral like a lot of the Jean Paul Gaultier Classique lines are. This one is a completely different twist, and I'm not really sure why it's called Intense, because looking at the name and everything going on, oh look, she's got a little bow on her back. You would think it would be like the original, but more intense, when it actually is an entirely different fragrance. To put it into one encapsulated description, this smells like an out of the shower, fresh orange blossom fragrance. Orange blossom isn't too prominent, but you have this slightly salty, lactonic feeling behind, and a slight greenness from patchouli. It's so unusual. I did not expect this from a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance. It's very surprising and very, very interesting. The more this dries, the more everything starts to melt together. It starts to not change character, but it becomes one, which is really good because the opening throws me all over the place, and this lactonic thing I can really smell more when it's up close. I've smelled this 3 times on my friend Michelle when I've been in close proximity to her, usually a hug, for about an hour when we meet, because we're just really strange like that. But in the air is where you kind of really feel it. It's one of those fragrances where you have to kind of smell it in a circumference rather than really up close. So when it's in circumference or within hugging reach, I will call it for today, it's kind of cleaner. It's the out of the shower feeling that I mentioned before. Not really any kind of gourmand accord or anything comes through with this one, whereas the Essence one really did have that. This one doesn't. It's just unbelievably different. I can't believe how different it is, and not Jean Paul Gaultier like in any way. I feel like the florals are more understated in this one. You can still smell them, of course, but where florals have been the focal point of a lot of Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances in the past, or the Classique flankers, shall we say, it feels like the other notes in this are what take the centre stage. So the saltiness, the freshness really, the patchouli even. Vanilla, again, really understated. So it's a real tough one, but it's really, really gorgeous and interesting. This is a completely multi-faceted fragrance which keeps me on my toes. Every time I've worn it, it smelled a little bit different. It's really, really hard to sum it up in one sentence, which isn't really great for review purposes, but sometimes fragrances do that. They keep you guessing, and that's what I love about them. I also find this one linear, as well as having great projection and longevity. I put this in the top ones of my collection. It's easily 10-12 hours plus. It gets more subtle in terms of its projection, and it gets a bit softer, but yeah, it's a good one, and I'm going to have to leave it there because it's a tough one to review. Well, I can almost kind of smell a bit of honey when I spray it the first time as well. Guys, it's a lot. Anyway, I got mine at notino.co.uk. They sell it at .com as well. I'll post links below to where you can get it. Yeah, really difficult one, this one. No doubt it's a really gorgeous fragrance. I'm not saying it's difficult because it's ugly or it's unusual. It's just difficult to deconstruct as a fragrance, and I really like that. So just try it out. If you're like me and you ignored Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances for a while because of the abundance of flankers, try and hone it in. I did. I honed it in and I found this beauty. So yeah, well, one or two more can't hurt. Anyway, I much more know. Click the logo down there to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another review. Goodbye.